Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday discussion, and thank you so much for joining us today. So each of the Saturday, we will host a session of around 90 minutes to discuss the lesson that we learned um, that are aligned with the June cohort from the certificate in happiness studies. And this week we are on week 5, and we are going to continue in the second half of the first spiritual principle, which stated that a purposeful life is a spiritual life. So I hope that you have a wonderful July 4th weekend, as many of us here in the US is celebrating the Independence Day, and many of you are still uh, on a long weekend vacation. So hopefully you will have a wonderful time with family and loved one. All right. So just a quick overview of the SPIRE principle and the SPIRE model and the 12 principle. And why is it that we are exercising the spiritual well-being, namely the first spiritual principle. So in the SPIRE model, we have 5 elements representing uh, the 5 letters in the word SPIRE. So we have spiritual well-being, physical well-being, intellectual well-being, relational well-being, and emotional well-being. And in happiness study, we define happiness as whole being. Therefore, the element of whole being to me is like the sixth element. And each one of these elements has 2 principles. And because of that, we have a total of 12 principles. And today we are continuing the second part of the first spiritual principle, which stated that a purposeful life is a spiritual life. So let's dive right into it. And in this discussion, we are going to present our I am, as in something that we find interacting, actionable, and meaningful. So hopefully I will hear your perspective and your view on this as well. So let's dive right into it. All right, so 5.1, the first part out of the 4 part of the lecture that we get to learn from Tao from his 4 part lecture. So 5.1, we got to learn about goals. And again, in the beginning of the lecture, we get a reminder that spirituality can mean beyond the sense of religions. And one does not need to be religious to lead a spiritual life. A deep sense of purpose can provide spirituality. So what this means is that if you find meaning, if you find purpose in what you do in your everyday activities, whether it is taking care of your family or whether it is doing a really good job at work, when you find that sense of meaning, when you find that purpose, that in itself is the meaning of spirituality, and it will help get you to an even bigger purpose, right? The purpose and goal, not all goal provide a sense of purpose or contribute to a spiritual well-being, but goals can simply just focus on fame, wealth, or success, do not necessarily generate purpose and spirituality. Now, this is huge for me because growing up, and it does not matter if you growing up in the Eastern culture or in the Western culture, because I myself, I was born and raised in Vietnam, and then I moved over to the US for school, and now that I live here, I get to experience both. And my realization is that from being born to growing up, we tend to focus on fame, wealth, or success in life, right? We go to school, learn what we needed to learn, choose a career, and then we simply work for money. And we learn to have a belief that if we make enough money, then everything will be fine. We will be happy. But that is not necessarily to be the case. So when people focus on fame, wealth, or success, they have or a purpose. But once they get there, it does not mean that they are elevating their spirituality, because a lot of the time they simply do it just because their family want them to do it. And Asian American often related to this because our family always tell us to, be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer, and they will be happy. But does that really make you happy though? So purpose and goal, it has to be authentic. It has to be true to you. And this is so important that we find a purpose, a goal for ourselves, so that when we coming into this world and one day we will leave it, we will fulfill the purpose that we are here. So for different goals, we will get to learn about self concordant goal. And in this lecture, we learn that goals that are aligned with our true passion and interest are authentic and feel autonomously chosen are self-concordant. So self-concordant goal is very important because it speaks the truth to our true passion and interest. And it has got to be very, very authentic. And we learned that there are three components to a self-concordant goal, and those are affection, authenticity, and autonomy. And thanks to this, we now know what element we need to focus on in order to find our self-concordant goal. So the first part is affection. So we want to pursue goal that we are passionate about and intrinsically interested in, rather than fulfilling other people goal, right? Your parent goals might not be your goals, so you want to make sure that you find what you are truly passionate about. And one good practice that we learn from the lecture is writing down or list up your goals, even how practicing this, right? When you unsure of what you wanted to do or what you want to pursue, you should write down a list of goals that you might want to pursue. And then from that list, we can compare and contrast, and we can narrow down to, like, let's say three things that you wanted to do. And I know that this is a very, very powerful technique because I study successful people like Elon Musk, and in in his biography, when he was 9 years old, he already know what he wanted to do later in life because he actually wrote this down. And it was very, very impressive because he said that there are five things that he wanted to focus on. And those are electric car, right? And even though it's a electric car, but I want to remind you that Tesla is not uh, producing or uh, expanding on electric car. They are actually building a smart car, like a smartphone, right? It's not just a phone, it's a smartphone. So Elon is and Tesla is building a network of a smart car. And then the second part that he wanted to focus on is space exploration. You see the importance of space exploration for humanity. And then the third one is electronic banking. And the fourth one is how is aging based on our DNA. And then the fifth one, I kind of forgot what the fifth one is, but this has something to do with intelligence. I think it's either artificial intelligence or the uh, the one chips that they are working on right now. So those are the list that he has, right, at a very young age. And from that list, he actually built out a timeline on how he can do that. And it is fascinating because when you have that list, you will starting to form like a roadmap on how to get there. And in the case of Elon Musk, he realized that he couldn't do all of that in South Africa. So he had to move from South Africa to his mother's country, which is Canada. And then from Canada, he moved down to the United States, and the rest is history, right? He had a milestone. And I thought it was very interesting that he focused on the internet and later co-founded PayPal and make over $100 million with that. And he used that money to invest on every other business venture that he is in right now. So it is extremely, extremely important that we know our goal and write it down so we can prioritize which we need to pursue first. Because in the case of Elon Musk, there was many things that he wanted to do, he needed to do, but he realized that he has got to have the money in order to invest on those projects. And because of that, he chose to went with online business. He went with online banking, online money transfer. And it is amazing how PayPal came together. And that was a foundational support to many other projects. And you might have heard of the PayPal Mafia, as in a group of co-founder of PayPal. After the money that they make from PayPal, they branches out to build their own company like YouTube, like Yelp, and many many other. So it is very powerful to know our self concordant goals and how we write it down to make sure that those goals are what we are passionate about and intrinsically interested in, right? So the next element is authenticity. Authenticity means that we engage in goals that are aligned with our true self, not just the idea of something influenced by external voice, for example, our parents. Our goal has to be authentic to us. And related to that, the goal needs to be autonomy as well, which means that is need to be freely chosen by us, right? Instead of you having to do it, it need to change to you wanting to do it. So when we have all of that element, it will give us a clear path to our goal. And those are the ideas that I would like to share for the first part, 5.1. So if there's anything that you would like to add to the topic of a goal or goal setting, and how you can uh, have a journey to realize those goals, I would love to hear from you as well. So if possible, feel free to share, right? You can uh, raise your hand by clicking the emotion icon and then raise hand. You can also type onto the chat, and we can discuss, like, into a further discussion of that. And again, spirituality beyond religion. Purpose is very, very important. And goals is one of the paths for us to find our purpose in life. All right. So feel free to share. And hi, Victoria.
Hi, Ben. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the lecture and meeting again. It was nice to hear about how to find purpose in life, because we know that it's very important. In order to be happy, we need to find meaning and our life purpose, which is, for me, is the most difficult task, because we like many things, we love to do many things, and we have many talents, but sometimes we lack focus and concentration on, because in order to be successful and happy, we need to choose one single thing in order to success. So for me, I think what Tan's teaching about the 3A acronym about finding the concordant goals is very important and very effective method. First, we need to find something that we like, right? And it's not easy, because we like many things, but it's just like liking. It's not a real passion. Passion means that we need to find something that we really never get bored to do. And sometimes we have to investigate deeply into myself. Like, for example, for me, this is the most difficult for me, because I love doing many things at the same time. I'm a multitask person. I don't know if some of you are the same problem, but for me, it's a difficult task. So that's why, for me, again, meditation helps me to stay focused and concentrated on what I really want to do. So affection is one of the things, and also authenticity. It means that need to be ourselves, not something else, because sometimes we admire somebody. And I'm still impressed with Tan's lecture about he tried to become a teacher, to copy some of the way of the teaching that one of his teacher inspired him greatly, but he so many times he fell, and it was not success for him. So that's why we need to bear in mind that no matter how we have a person whom we admire and have a lot of respect, but still we need to find our own voice, because everyone is different and unique. So this is something I also feel that is very important to remember. And also the last thing is autonomy, because last time we talked about children who have a lot of pressure from parents. And me, for example, myself, I'm a parent as well. And sometimes I feel that I still make this mistake of putting some pressure on my own child. And I feel that, okay, that I believe from my side that is the best for him. But I think I need to be mindful about this aspect, because what we think may be best for him may be not the right thing for him. And so we have to respect our children's choice. So that is about autonomy. And I would like to share a little bit about the self, the person whom we want to be, because we have an infinite potential. We can be whoever we want to be. Of course, I don't think that we until and unless we can identify our strengths and our real passion, then we can be successful in any area of our life if we make an effort to. But the first start, the important thing is what kind of person I want to become. Do I want to become a teacher? Do I want to become a businessman? Do I want to become an artist? So it needs to be very clear in our mind in which direction we want to be, because from then we can have a vision of the path to lead us to the destination of the person whom we want to become. And in order to for the person, because the person, we need to know the structure of person. So 5 elements of the person, or in terms of health, what kind of health we want to be, like for example, in terms of physical health, in terms of your daily habit, what kind of thing we need to you like, and you are strong at, and you feel you most natural as. So that is one indication. And also in terms of emotion, for example, some people are prone to get angry very easily. So it would be very difficult if they choose something that have they can transform, they can use that angry energy into something that is meaningful and helpful at work. So for me, even our weakness can be transformed into something that we can use as our weapon and become our signature. That's what I mean. I mean that anything, whether it's a bad like a habit or something, but if we truly think about this and we really like it, and we cannot like take it off of our personality, then, and we shouldn't, we need to take it into account into building the person of our dream. So we take into the account of what we really are, like our weakness and also our strength, so that we can design the person and the life we want. That's what I mean. So in terms of emotion, in terms of our relationship, in terms of our intellectual capacity, in terms of our spiritual aspiration, all those things we need to be very clear. So in order to be that, I think we need to do self-assessment so that we can be aware of who we are actually now, where we come from, and where we want to lead ourselves to, and who we want to be. So based on this basis, then we can design the life, and then can set the goals, the realistic and achievable goal for ourselves. Because sometimes we are this kind of person, but we dream to be a complete different person. Maybe it might be take. I wouldn't say that it would not be possible, but it would take us a lot of time, and it's longer. So it's up to us. It's our choice to do, but we need to be crystal clear about what we want to do and what we have now as our foundation, so that we can build up our dream based on a solid foundation, so our dream become realistic and can be achievable. So that's what is my sharing. Thank you. And I really would like to hear from many of our Vietnamese people sharing their views.
All right. Thank Victoria for sharing your wisdom, and I appreciate that a lot. And of course, we would love to hear from others as well. And one thing that I want to share with you is that the feeling of wanting the best for your children, that will not change. It does not matter how old we will get, right? Because like even today, my parents still have like ideas and advices that they want me to do, even though I'm having my own family now. And when my grandmother was still alive, she still tried to give my father advices, even though he is a very well-established businessman, right? He even had a PhD. So grandma was just like someone who went through of the war in Vietnam, didn't have the opportunity to go to get a lot of education, but she still loved to give advices and care for. So it is okay to have that feeling. At the same time, right? Lucky for us, we understand the importance of self-concordant goals, and we want our children to be happy. And the truth is, we really don't know their capability until we allow them to explore and do what they love to do. Because by pursuing self-concordant goal, it can literally transform work and life from chores to meaningful experience. And there are so many successful story that I have read that focus on this, because one of the story that I read, I forgot the lady names, but this happened in the early 1900s. So there was this lady, she was born into a pretty wealthy family. Like her family had a very big farm, but she was the only one who can help her parent take care of the farm. And even though she loved painting, she put that aside. She don't pursue that. She didn't even pursue a college degree. She stayed in and helped her family run the farm. Eventually, she got married. She became a very good wife, organized everything. And later in her life, in her 60s, when she realized that everything is done, everything is taken care of, she had her children take care of the farm now, and she can retire. So she decided to pick up painting again, and she draw these most beautiful painting, and she become very, very famous. I believe at that time her paintings sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is the difference between doing something that you have to do versus something that you love. And I think in life we should allow ourselves and our children the opportunity to pursue what they love. Think of the story like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk, for example, right? Uh, or even Mark Zuckerberg. Their parents are very successful, but if they were to do what their parent wanted them to do, then they limit their success at where their parents are. But because they found their passion, they found their self concordant goal, and they went after that, they make an even bigger impact compared to their parent. So I love it when I hear a story like that, and I do believe that life is more than just uh I guess making your parent happy, right? You can make your parent even more happy by exceed their expectation. So I highly recommend all the young children find their passion, and we actually have a formula to find our goal, right? Our self concordant goal. And I believe that when you find your self concordant goals, you will become even more successful than you can ever imagine, or even your parent. And there are so many success story that I found when someone applying these steps of authenticity, autonomy, and what is the third, a affection, right? And then we can definitely make a difference. And I do believe that Dr. Taban Shahar, I think he is a very smart person. I'm sure he can find success in any other field, but he studied philosophy, psychology, and now he taught these wonderful teaching about on happiness study, and I appreciate that. So, well, let's continue the conversation, and again, feel free to share like Victoria did. And I know that right now in Vietnam is like early in the morning. Some people have to work, so it's okay if you cannot share, but feel free to share in the chat, and we can discuss your idea as well. And earlier, Jasmine said that she do what she love without being hesitant by other point of view. Super, super important. And yeah, it's not just your parent that will try to influence your decision, right? Your friends, your group of people, a lot of time they try to stop you from getting to where you want to be. They just don't know what you really want. So only you who can know what you supposed to do, and you should go after it. Right? Um,
Yeah,
and,
I also love Jasmine's sharing, saying she said that do what I love to do without being hesitant by others' point of view. And I completely agree with this statement. But the thing is, in Vietnam and actually in general in Asian country, we are kind of living in society and family. We have I mean that the independence of personality and independence is less less appreciated in Asian culture. So normally we need to be very considerate because consideration for other people are very, very important in Asian culture. So sometimes when we live in family, at school, or in community, we need to really take care of how people think of us. That is one of the biggest obstacle I think Asian students need to overcome, and then being themselves, find a way to be ourselves, to be able to spend time for ourselves, concentrating on what we love and passionate about, and to pursue our goal instead of just paying attention and being distracted by other people's opinion is a big step for students like Asian like me, because I was fortunate enough to be an independent person, because I left Vietnam when I was young, but still I know that our culture is like that every time. And now I'm in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm back to Vietnam, and I'm supposed to follow my certificate, everything, but I need to hold it back a little bit because I need to spend time with my family and all the things around. Because if not, you cannot, you just focus on yourself and doing your stuff and things like that. You have to socialize, spend time, and take care of others people, and being considerate with them. And actually it's really, I think it's very good in terms of developing relationship, caring, and affection. But in terms of personal development, then sometimes I feel that, for me especially, I feel that is isolation, and sometimes being like in solitude really help you like come back to yourself, to find your own strengths, and to have a clear mind, so that you know exactly what you want to do with your life and who you want to be, without being influenced by your parents' advice and peers pressure and everything so on. So I would like Ben and I to share how you can overcome this obstacle, because it's quite a big deal. It's not easy, especially for Asian people. Sharing opinion in public, speaking up our voice, and not being influenced by other people is a big challenge for Asian culture. I think so.
I think that's not just the Asian culture, because public speaking is like the number one fear of many people, right? It even ranking higher than death itself. So, what you meant, what your question is pretty tough, but I think uh, when we doing something meaningful, we don't have to worry about what other people think. But at the same time, we need to respect their opinion, right? We have to understand the cultural setting. For example, the U.S. tried to influence the culture in the Middle East back in 2000, and they thought that they are doing a good thing. But culturally speaking, uh, at that time, right, they didn't want the type of freedom that the Western country offer. They still want to keep their culture, and it might look really weird to us, but those are their value, and that is okay. So we are living in the age where we can share information, because we can speak up our mind, especially if we are lucky enough to live in country like the US. I live in the US. I know you live in Hong Kong, and that is one of the great place where you can express yourself too. So to me, like if I were to express something important that I know that it will benefit other, I wouldn't hesitate to say. And knowing that it is important for us to listen to our family and loved one too, because a lot of time they didn't mean to tell us what to do. They simply want to show that they care and they want the best for us. And understanding that it is all about shifting perspective, right? From seeing it as them telling us to do, seeing it as in they are looking down on us because they are offering a better decision. But it's not like that. It's just simply that they care and they want to communicate with you that, oh, they love you so much that if you were to do this, in their opinion, your life will be so much better. So they are not looking down on you. They just simply want to show love and affection. So understanding that, a lot of time we just need to listen. And I'm saying that, but like even today, like my father tried to give me some advices, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like I'm more than capable of doing that. I just choose to do this one. And I get upset a little bit, but it's good that we have this conversation so I can remind myself, they are saying it out of love and they want to find something to talk about, not just trying to criticize me or look down on me or anything. So I totally understand what you are saying and where you're coming from.
I think communication is very important, Ben, as you just mentioned it. I think important communication is key because we just misunderstand. Everyone want the good thing for each other, and then I find that when we are able to to establish the truth for ourselves and be confident about what we are doing is not harming other people and is going to benefit both self and other, then we become very confident. We can share our humble opinions, we can contribute our ideas, and then we can discuss to find out from other person perspective, and we can enrich ourselves very much by opening ourselves and then to accept other people's point of view without being disturbed by them, because we know what we need to do and we know what we like to do, and what we do is we have gone through deep and properly analysis and conclusion. We come up to the right conclusion for ourselves. Of course, we can adjust over time, but basically we have the main direction to go to lead our life. So for other people, we just come across their opinion, no matter how different they may have come from different perspective, different from us, but we can try to understand, and with an open mind we can adapt, and even they can teach us a great lesson in life. So I feel it's so enriching and interesting and very useful to have like discussion and open discussion, and very like Ben said, is very kind-hearted, like you have a good purpose in mind. So when you open up to discussion without judging, without discriminating or have a prejudice, then things can get very well and you can learn a great deal, and at the same time you can influence by people. We can spread our happiness, we can spread positivity and goodness and beauty and the truth around the world. So if something is possible, the happiness revolution is possible. And then the only thing is we try to help ourselves first, and then we try to help other people so that they can be on the same vibe, which is a positivity, which is happiness, which is beauty. And then if everyone is clear about that direction, then everyone, I think they would be happy to embark on the same journey, because it's a journey toward truth, beauty, and goodness. And that is the ultimate purpose for human life. What else is more beautiful than that? So I strongly believe the only thing is we have some obstacle in terms of our limitation in terms of how we express ourselves and how we can connect with others from at a deep level of love, compassion, understanding, and mutual respect. Once we get that basic, then I think no matter how difficult the topic could be, then we can try to talk it out. One day cannot be successful, but 2 days, 3 days, 1 year, 10 years would be different. Our future generation will live in a much better, more peaceful world, when I hope there's no conflict and there's no war anymore. So that is, I think, a little bit idealistic. But the thing is, we need to have vision. We need to have a superior goal to pursue. Because when we achieve something, as I mentioned, our human potential is limitless. We can do whatever we focus to do. So once we set our goal and on the goal we can achieve, then what else? We need to dream to another world so that we can also shine for the better and become attain the best possible of the version of ourselves. And that is possible. That is completely possible.
Right. Having a goal and know how to get there is extremely important. Like I share in the beginning of the discussion, the story of Elon Musk, right? At 9 years old, he wrote down what he wanted to do and the 5 things that he wanted to do that I share, like electric cars, space exploration, online banking, AI, and DNA engineering. And knowing that he structure his goal in a way that he can actually accomplish it. So he started with online banking, online business, namely online banking, to support the rest of his investment. So by having goal that is aligned with his passion, his authenticity, and his affection, he was able to plan out. Not only that, in this process, he actually find his strength in doing so, and that's gonna take us to 5.2, one of my favorite lecture, because it's helped us realize our strength, the importance of our strength, and how we can start our journey, and we can set it up like go as means and journey as an end, because once we start going on this journey, we will start to explore like things beyond our imagination. uh so what I mean by this is, let's say Amazon, for example. Jeff Bezos started out by selling books from his garage, just because he wanted to get his foot in the dot-com evolution, right? But starting from that, he expanded out to even more product. And right now, like Amazon make a lot of money on their services, on their like cloud computing, rather than just selling products. They actually make more money on selling their services. So one thing lead to another. And this is the beauty of seeing this as a journey rather than a goal, because the goal, you get there and then you don't know what to do next. What I see is as a journey, right? Like one road will lead to another, will bridge out to an even bigger road, like a highway. And by consciously going on a journey, we will find many beautiful uh, achievable goal in that journey. And one of the big things that I learn and appreciate from the 5.2 lecture is that we are also go on a journey to find our strength. And thanks to those strengths, it will help us realize our dream. It will help us materialize our goal. And I want to do this for my children, right? I want to make sure that they are doing something that they love, so that they can find their strength in order to realize uh, their dream. And strength-based approach, we actually there's a research study, and there is a test that we can do online. I believe is included in the certificate program as well as the master program. After you take that, it will show you, I think, what is the top 3 element of your strengths are, and you can focus on those, and then from those strengths, we can find our passion, and we can pursue our passion based on those strengths. And to me, it's just so powerful, and like I really want to hear what you guys think about strength and how that will help our goal, and the importance of pursuing your goal and finding your strength along the way. So Anyone would like to share?
I think strength is yes, very important. We need to be able to identify our own strengths, which is not easy to do. So as I said, we sometimes we need to write down, or we need to do some reflection on your own about what we have a natural like ability to do. Sometimes, for example, we can be good at painting, we can be good at playing music, we can be good at talking, speaking, or chatting nonsense thing. Is also a strength, right? So the only thing we need to be aware that once we can identify our strengths, and also I think that sometimes a weakness can be a strength as well. For me, sometimes a weakness, if we, because it's not a matter of what is a strength or what is not. It's a matter of how we think this thing, this quality, this habit is my strength. That is important, because once the strength is mean that has force, it's powerful. It can make us wake up in the morning, going through our day, and don't give up when things get into our way. That for me is strength. That is for me is force. So that's why we need to be think deeply about that. Sometimes is some people maybe they think playing game. They think okay, I like playing game, or I'm good at playing game, something like that. And sometimes parents would say, okay, playing game is killing you. It's not good for you. You should focus on study or something like that. But for some people, maybe they can use that chance, the being good at playing game, to turn it into a business, to help people, and then to, like for example, to invent some game that is help people to improve the memory, or maybe playing games to help people, to help children to develop interest in learning. That is something for me is a good strength. And then we need to be very clear about, okay, what is our natural inclination? Because if we neglect it, that it means we get rid of our own strength, and something we have a bad idea about, okay, this must be a good strength. A good strength means you need to be able to talk, speaking well in public. You need to be able to be tidy, and I'm a messy person. I am not having a good strength. So it's not like that. Even being a mess person can turn into a personal strength if you want to do. Like I remember I read Marie Kondo, and then she said that how the art of tidy up the house, how to tidy the house and everything like that from the mess. But from a messy person, we can turn into a strength of being a very organized, or using that messy thing, laziness of our thing into the right purpose. So the main thing is how we view strength rather than what we identify our mistaken or our ordinary belief that, oh, it's not my strength. So the important thing is we need to believe in ourselves, believe that we are good, that we have a great value to do great things in our life, and all are equally precious and important. It doesn't mean, oh, my brother is smarter than me, then he will be more successful than me. I'm stupid person, so I have no talent, I cannot do anything. No, that is not, life is not going like that. I can tell you a story about life, because I love Buddhist stories. So I'm telling you a story about Buddhism. So it's about once upon a time, it was the time when the Buddha was living, Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha of this fortunate eon. So 2,500 years ago about. So at that time there was, because Buddhism at that time was very developing, very strong in India. So there was two brothers, one is very smart and one is very stupid. So the smart one learned by heart perfectly whatever Buddha taught. On the Buddhist teaching, he knew it very well. So he was become promoted in a temple. And the younger brother, he was so stupid. He was so stupid to the point that even one word he cannot remember. Like if you tell him now what word, Buddhist word to remember, then he forgot next second. So his parent gave up on him. He said, no, I'm going to send you to your brother to the temple so he will teach you. So the parent gave up on him. So he went to the brother's temple, and the brother tried to teach him very simple thing, give him all the thing he could to teach him, but it was not successful because he was so stupid. And the brother gave up on him as well. So this stupid guy, he was like, he wanted to kill himself. He said, okay, it's the end of my life because I cannot do anything. I'm so stupid. Then he just crying and then wandering around the street. And at that time, because Buddha, he has the wisdom eye, so he knew perfectly everything perfectly and simultaneously. He can see everything at the deepest level. So he knew what was going on with that stupid guy. So he came on the street and see the stupid guy and said, okay, I will help you. I know what's happening to you. So you are not the rubbish thing. So I can help you. So he take him to another temple and give him a job of sweeping the floor, just sweeping the floor from left to the right side, from right side to left side, just that left to right, right to left, the single very simple task of sweeping the dust in a small corner of the temple. And then he gave him just 2 words to remember. It doesn't matter. You don't need to remember. No, you just keep repeating these 2 words when you're sweeping left side, right side, left side, right side, and time passed like that. No progress. So okay. So one day he just keep sweeping all the time, and one day he just awakened, just 2 words, and with the sweeping job, like, because when he what happened is when he swept on the left side, dust just appear on the right side, and then he came to the right side to sweep out the dust, then the dust again appear on the left side, and it's over again. So this stupid guy, he didn't give up. He listened to Buddha. He said that, okay, if Buddha tell me something that I need to do, then I will do this. So he just keeps sweeping, even dust keep appearing. He just finished sweeping, but if it appear, he do it again and again. And at the same time, he repeats the 2 words, the 2 magical words Buddha gave him. Then one day he just awakened. And he awakened. So Buddha knew that it was time for him to arise to teach people and then share the knowledge Buddhist teaching to people. So Buddha came to him and announced that he got enlightened. And then no one believed on him because people keep telling, okay, how a stupid person get become an enlightened person? It's impossible. So I will make fun of you guys. So because we schedule for him for a teaching on a throne. So the nun and the monk on that temple, because they didn't believe that he got enlightened, so want to make fun of him. So they put the seat very tall so that the guy could not climb up to the throne to give teaching to other people. But magically, do you know what happened at that time? The guy didn't scare. He came to the and with magical power, he just flew up from the ground up to the chair and give the teaching perfectly with all the 84,000 Buddhas teaching perfectly and clearly. So everyone was deeply impressed and many of them got enlightened as well. So at that time, people just realized, okay, so it is possible. Ever stupid, the most stupid people who cannot remember even a word can become enlightened. So it means that everybody have potential to become the best version of themselves. So that is a lesson of the story. I hope that it can give you insight, because every time when I blame myself for something that I'm not successful or something I'm so stupid or whatever, I always come back to this story, which can lift up me immediately and give me so much motivation and inspiration for me to keep going on my my long and challenging journey.
I love that story, Victoria. That story is actually very, very powerful. And my perspective, my understanding from that story is that, and I had this belief when I was young as well. I believe that when we focus on one thing and we become an expert at it. We learn the principle behind it, and how in happiness study we have the principle of hoping. Everything is interconnected. By understanding one thing, become an expert at it, you can relate it to thousands and thousands and millions of other things. So that one guy, he become enlightened by doing one simple job as sweeping, and he awakened his understanding and expand his wisdom, and that is very much relatable to the lesson that we are learning in 5.1 and 5.2, right? Tao don't like go into deep in this, but I'm glad that you brought it up, because when we find our goal, something that we we're passionate about and want, something that we willing to go in after. So in the journey of realizing our goal and materializing our goal, we will find the strength, right? And once we master our area, it is easy for us to master any other field. And that is exactly what Elon Musk did, right? He focused on one thing, and then he used that principle and idea to expand to other. He is still a human being, right? People look up to him like he is God, but he's not. He is a human being, and he are able to do many things, accomplish great things, because he truly believe in it. He truly believe in himself and his passion. And you can do the same. We can do the same. And the knowledge that we are sharing is very capable of helping people open up their mind, expand their understanding. And again, I want to remind everyone that we are still on the first spiritual principle. So through spirituality, to go to strength, you can reach great deal of intellectual well-being as well, because everything is interconnected. And I really love your story. When I was younger, I'm not going to be able to understand the depth of that story. But as I progress through life and learn happiness study, I can connect the dot, and that is indeed very powerful. And I like to call it the moment of awakening. Even Plato mentioned it in this. He said that everything that we learn, they are not new. We are just relearning what we have already know. So the journey is not about learning something new. It is about awakening the power within, and you are slowly demonstrating that. Instead of focusing on the problem, we need to spend time to work on ourselves, find something meaningful, and actually do it, right? Put in the work, and we will find our strength along the way, and we will be able to connect the dots. And it can happen very quickly in the case of the idiot guy in your story. And he's not an idiot anymore, right? He's awakened the power from within, and he became a very wise man who can help and light others. So, powerful story. Thanks for sharing that. And I love your energy too, by the way. I can feel your authenticity and your understanding from the story. And it is a very powerful story. So thank you for that. Relating what Victoria said to the discussion and the lecture, in 5.2, Tao also mentioned the importance of continuous learning. And we connecting that to Victoria's story and what I said earlier. We need to see this as a journey so that we can continue our learning, because when we engage in our strength and we elevate our love of learning, we can reignite passion and effectiveness in our goal, in our purpose. And by doing that, I would like to move to 5.3, because it's also connecting to strength, because 5.3 teach us about passion and performance, right? We need to be able to distinguish our strength. And I believe it is very much relatable to Victoria's story as well. And it's completing the lecture that we learned in week 5. Because once we realize our strength and once we figured out our strength, we also need to differentiate or distinguish between our strengths. And there are two category of strength. There's two groups that we need to understand. The first one is called performance strength, which means areas where one excels and can measure improvement. For example, strategic thinking, public speaking, and we also have passion strength, and it is defined by activities that energize and fuel an individual. For example, listening to music or engaging in deep conversation, deep discussion like we are doing. So by distinguish our strength, we will be able to maximize our potential and we can work more effectively. Another way to look at this is, let's say, in many cases of people that I know of, they are very successful in their career, right? They can be a lawyer or a doctor, but at the end of the day, or at the weekend, on the weekend, they would pursue something that they love, like becoming a photographer or flying an airplane or painting. So there's a differentiation between what they do to make a living, to make that money, to support their hobby, like listening to music or painting or photography. So why is it important that we recognizing and differentiation between these two strengths, performance strength and passion strength? The importance of this is when we find the overlap between performance strength and passion strength. That is where one's peak potential resides. And it's called peak potential zone. And this is extremely, extremely important. And you can help your children with this. You can help your friend with this. Because believe it or not, most people are unaware of this peak potential zone. Okay. So let's say the story of the lady in the 1900s that I told earlier, for example, she spent most of her life as a farmer to help organize her farm. It is something that she do very well. That is her performance strength. And toward the end of her year, she decided to pick up the brush and start painting, and she became a very famous artist. But the real question is, without her years of working in the farm, right, making observation of the beauty around her, the nature that later she demonstrate in her painting, without the experience, she wouldn't be able to make the beautiful painting. So to me, I would argue that she did not waste her year. She meant to do those jobs so that it can lead her to becoming an influential artist in the field of nature. So, but for us, imagine that we have a realization and we can combine our performance strength with our passion strength, right? Like a peak potential zone. In Japan, we have the idea of ikigai, right? Where it's actually pretty similar how one can find their combine their strengths in what they love to do with something that they are good at, something that society needs, so that they can make money and then creating value and nurture them at the same time. So the ability combining performance strength and passion strength is extremely important. That is how growth happen. And I want to make a reference to a research study on flow in 1980s by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. So flow zone is can also be called peak performance, and it has a lot to do with the peak potential zone that mentioned in 5.3. So what Mihai found after he interviewed many peak performer, he realized that they all share a similarity in their performance. They often go into this state of mind called the flow state, where their perception of time and space is very different. They no longer have to think, they simply have that mind body connection, and they perform best when they can get into that zone. Like a basketball player, when they are in the zone, they simply move their body the best way, and they didn't even have to think about it. They are unstoppable. A singer or a, a musician, when they in that flow state, they don't even have to think about what note they need to hit next. They simply project the action out, and they can perform beautifully. And of course, they don't just get there, right? They have to spend a lot of time exercising before they can perform like that. If you have any friend who are a singer, they would tell you that they would have like before they go on any performance, they have to do a lot of practice, and then the day before that performance, they have to work with other to produce that show too. So understanding this, we want to get into a peak potential zone so that we can grow, so that we can develop. And understanding this, imagine what you can do to help your children, right? For example, my I'm having an 8-month-old baby, and I was so happy when she was able to crawl, right? Because a couple of months ago, she couldn't move around much. But for us as an adult, when we look at if we were to in that position, crawling is very easy, walking is very easy. We can even run a marathon. But for an 8-month old, it is really awesome when she can crawl around, when she can stand on her own 2 feet, because that is very impressive at that age. So having that understanding later on, right, we can help our children or our friends finding their strength, their performance strength, and their passion. And if we can allow them to stay in that zone, which is called peak potential zone, they can grow very quickly. And this is extremely powerful. And it's also answer a question of a social studies are on a really poor community compared to a really rich community. And what that study found is that children in in a very poor community, they didn't have enough. They didn't have what it takes to grow. There are a lot of limitation. There are a lot of barrier to entry. So many of them gave up before they can even make it to high school, before college, and they ended up doing illegal activity. And the researcher found the reason why they struggle so much. And the amazing thing is that that very same element can also be found in an extremely rich and wealthy family. And what the researcher realized that the children from a wealthy family, it was so easy for them to reach like an average person's success. It is so easy that they didn't even want to do it. Their parent already done that for them. Okay, so they are both for both situation. the very poor and the very rich, they was keeping away from the peak potential zone. Therefore, they couldn't get to where they can be, right? So powerful. So understanding this, we can help our children or our family and loved one, the people around us to find their peak potential zone. Okay. So in the case of the very poor uh, children in that research study, I think what they lack is, I guess, maybe uh, performance strength. They may have passion, but they don't have the I guess could be the money or the environment to grow that passion and to grow that performance strength. For the case of the rich and wealthy children, they get a lot of support from their parent, whatever they need can be paid for. They can find tutor, so they can be very strong when it's come to performance strength. But they lack what they lacking in is passion because everything is so easy already, and they are so influenced by their parent that they couldn't find passion in what they do. So it makes so much sense for me. And the experts are still very personal. Um, but based on how lecture on passion and performance, it is so easy to solve, right? We just need to help them find passion, and this can save so many family. Because in Vietnamese, there's a saying that there's no one that poor for 3 generations, and there's no family that rich for over 3 generations. It's true because of this, because of what I've learned right here in 5.3. They couldn't find the peak potential zone, and whether the parent didn't care enough for the children or they cared too much for the children, that is actually keeping the children away from their peak potential zone. And I think this is so powerful, and I feel like everyone needs to understand this. So feel free to share because I don't want to take all the time for this discussion. I know it's July 4th weekend, and many people are like on a road trip or being on the lake somewhere. But I'm glad that you are here with me, and I appreciate that. And I hope to hear more on this very powerful idea that we get to learn in 5.3 on passion and performance, and most importantly, the peak potential zone.
I think what you are saying is very true, and I really love the way you share your story about your daughter. It's true that we normally underestimate our strengths, and then sometimes we just look at the not at the right way. The way we look at things is not the way that help us to improve and find our passion and our performance strengths, but underestimate them, because the thing is, so we will blame, like for example, because my parents always want me to do this and that, and then we also blame and criticize other people. Okay, because I need to do, for example, now I'm thinking, okay, I need to spend time for my family, but it's my choice. Nobody forced me to do what I choose to do, right? Now we are very fortunate to live in a society, in a I think it's quite where human rights are quite respected. We are not like in a slavery period where we own our life is soul, and then we are slave to another person who is our life master. So we have choice. Remember, when we remember and we have faith in our own potential, which is for me limitless and infinite, then we need to take responsibility for our own choice, because only then we can try to find the best version of ourselves, which is the overlap between what is we are naturally gifted and what what activity that motivates us most. For example, if you expose constantly to playing tennis, of course you will be good at playing tennis, and also you will feel you are most happier when you play tennis. So it's a matter of your habit. So pay attention to your daily habit, because it is one of the indication and one of the key factor to determine your overlap between your performance and your passion. So there's no truly existent passion or truly existent passion. It is just a matter of our choice. Okay, when we were young, we didn't have choice, or we cannot decide for ourselves. So our parents will send us, but nowadays they will ask us, like for example, do you want to play piano? Do you want to learn to paint? I hope the parents here do that, because me, I'm doing that. I have a direction for my son, but at the same time, I will ask him, and I want him to take responsibility for what he's doing, because he needs to take ownership. Even he's only 13 years old, not 18 years up. But whatever he doing, like going to class or doing sport or something, he needs to make a choice. And sometimes he's finding difficulty making a choice. Then as a parent, we help them. We explain to them, okay, if you make this choice, that would be the outcome, like that. So we are clear between the relationship, between our choice and the desired result, what we want to achieve. We need to be perfectly clear about this. So life become easier, because that's why we will keep blaming, okay, this and because of this and because of that. Of course, I know that we cannot control external circumstances. Sometimes things happen to us, but we can make it happen for us. So that is important to remember. So for me, the key for me to find out our inner strength is that we need to know that we have a lot of talent, we have a lot of potentiality. And the thing is, we need to make the right choice. And in order to make the right choice, we need to improve our belief, our way to think, and our worldview, how to perceive the world, what person, what kind of person, what quality I need to cultivate in order to not only to survive in this challenging time, but also to thrive in uncertainty and that overcome whatever obstacle that come into my way. That is, I think, is for me is the overlap between passion and performance, because we remember we have the choice and we have infinite potential to become the best version, the person who we want to become. So that is it. Yeah.
Thanks, Victoria. And when I listen to you, it's for some reason it's remind me of the story you told earlier about the stupid person. And I'm keep thinking about the peak potential zone of that guy and the lesson from the Buddha, right? Because when you first told me the story, I thought that guy is like a sleeping genius, as in like he's a genius. Maybe other people just don't understand him. But later on, like he's actually a really, really like slow person, like a really stupid guy. He couldn't do anything, and even he himself believed that until the Buddha came and taught him the lesson of doing the simple job, something so simple as sweeping from right to left and from left to right. And somehow I tie that to the peak potential zone, right? So as stupid as the person that you tell in the story, and like I'm very careful when I use the word because I don't want to say anything negative, but a person who as slow as stupid as that guy, when he can find his peak potential zone, he can grow so much, and he grow beyond anyone imagination toward the end of the story, right? Nobody believed that he can give a lecture, but he did even more than that. So that is, to me, that is the power of finding your peak potential zone. Everyone is different. Everyone is at their different point in this journey. But the important thing is you have got to find your peak potential zone. Well, that stupid guy, he found it. He started with something very simple, and he progressed through that journey. So for us, we might be different, but the truth is we are still going on the very same journey. We just got to find our own peak potential zone, and we can go from there. So to me, it is so powerful that what you share today, along with the lecture that Tao shared, and I find it super powerful when we combine the three part 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3, right? We gotta figure out our goal authentically, and then through that goal, through that journey, we find our strength. Through our strength, we differentiate it, and we combine the performance and our passion, and we find our peak potential zone. Everyone is different, but the second that you step into that zone and stay in that zone will change over time. It can help you grow beyond your imagination. And this is so powerful. I did not think of this when I first learned this, but thanks to the discussion, the conversation, I found the key to success for literally anyone. So I am very appreciative of your story. I see Jasmine is raising her hand, so I want to respect the time and make sure that she get to speak before we end in about 7 minutes. So feel free to share, Jasmine.
Hello, hi Ben, hi Victoria, and everybody. I have never thought of peak performance could literally change my point of view. It's not like I have any point of view about peak performance, but I never thought of that angle, that point of view that you mentioned and Ben mentioned just now about peak performance. Usually I just thought like peak performance would relate to when people try their best, and that's would be their peak performance. But I never thought of literally just now when Ben remind me about peak performance and like summarize everything that you and Ben had been discussed since the beginning until now. I thought of the reason why peak performance stay under spiritual well-being. Often people talk about, like how we tap into the vibration of something. And it's by using peak performance for as an explanation. It doesn't sound too spiritual, but it is so spiritual. And literally, just like Ben said, we just now discover how to tap into any kind of vibration and tap into any kind of successful that we want. Um, that that is beyond expectation, and uh, it's just, I was raising my hand because I thought of the characters very famous in the U.S. and I personally did a presentation about him too. His name is Forrest Gump, and he was always able to achieve things that he want, even though he was so stupid. Um, and I did that presentation, and all of my teammates they were like, Jasmine, I could not watch this movie before, but because of you, now I have to watch this movie again. And by I never thought like stupid people or like Down syndrome people is stupid or problematic. I just thought that their brain working in another way, but by just think about us, we sometimes like I feel stupid sometimes too. Like I forgot things that I mentioned or like literally like the minute I talk about something and then turn around I forgot what I say. And so I found myself sometimes stupid and sometimes outsmarting myself. And I was like, what happened to me? But now when we discuss about, this spiritual well-being, I feel like there's so much potential that we don't know who we are. And by tapping into the peak performance. We could be everybody, even like we could be Elon Musk or greater. I don't know. Who knows? So perfect. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you, Jasmine. It's really inspiring to hear about you sharing about Forrest Gump because I love that movie as well. I love it very much. And what you share remind me of Helen Keller. Wow, whenever I first started the course and Tom mentioned about Helen Keller, I had heard of her long before this course, but I really developed admiration and interest into her story through Tom's sharing about how she could overcome her handicap, her disability to become such a great inspiring person for many people. And for me, I think no, everyone is equally precious and we all have a talent, deep hidden talent. And with the right guide, if we meet a right teacher, they will help us to discover our deepest, our hidden talent that we wouldn't have discovered without the guide. So the guide, the teacher is very important. We need to learn and we need to develop a wish to meet such a teacher to guide us through the way so that we can become the best version of yourself. And if that is possible.
I love that, and I really appreciate you sharing, Victoria and Jasmine as well. And Jasmine remind me something very important when she mentioned peak performance, because peak performance is is peak performance means that you are at your 100% and beyond, right? That is where growth happens. So when we combine peak performance with peak passion, that's give us peak potential zone, and that's how we grow. So there is this theory of it's called Kaizen 1%. So you might have heard this, and it is popularized by Atomic Habit. And what it is saying is that like if we can just 1% better today than yesterday, and if we can maintain it, then after 1 year, after 365 days, we are actually about 37.5 or a little bit higher time better than how we was. So to me, this peak potential zone is exactly that, right? We maintain in this zone, and we can grow exponentially, just like the stupid guy that you mentioned in your story, or Forrest Gump. He achieved so much success, and I feel like I'm gonna rewatch that movie today because honestly, I didn't like that movie. I think it's fun to watch, but I didn't I wasn't too crazy about it when I first watched it with Jasmine. But it makes so much sense now. Like, why did people spend so much money on making that movie, and why was it so successful? Because it's definitely demonstration that definitely demonstrate the power of peak potential zone. Someone who is so ordinary, right, can become extraordinary through spiritual well-being, through staying in peak potential zone. So it does not matter who you are or where you be. If you have a dream, you have a goal, and you can just stay in that peak potential zone, you can materialize whatever you wish for. And that is so powerful. And unfortunately, we reached the end of today's discussion. I appreciate so much. And I am looking forward to this discussion because every time we are getting together and learn together, I always learn something new. And we didn't even get a chance to go to 5.4 and all of the reading in this week, but I feel like I have learned so much, and I appreciate everyone here. I know a lot of you are unable to share or open your mic and your video, but I'm sure you are there in spirit, and thanks to that, we got to learn with each other. So thank you so much for joining us, and I would like to play a song before we go. So appreciate you, and see you next week. Bye bye, everybody.